Do you guys believe in ghosts?
Yeah.
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 Too.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any ghost stories?
Honestly,
Oh, I have a good one.
thankfully, no, I don't.
Okay.
I have a really good one.
But yeah, what's
so when I was in high school, my dad, his grandparents owned a cafe or something, and I think they had Ham's beer there.
Mm-hmm.
So they had this Ham's beer sign, and he somehow got it from my grandma and put it in this room outside of my room where I stayed or whatever.
The sign. The
yeah,
hand,
and it would like light up, and he would turn it on and just let it run. And he like left it running one night after we were playing pool together. And that night when I went and I was taking it was like the middle of the night, and I was sitting there peeing, and I like turned around, and there was like a face, dead ass serious. It was like staring at me. It scared the crap out of me, and and then I flicked the light on, and I was like, "What the heck?"
Who was that?
I don't know.
What was that?
I don't know. It was
Yeah.
just a face. It was just sitting there, and then
In the dark?
yeah, it was like a white.
How'd you see the face?
Dude, I don't know if I was dreaming or what, but if I was half asleep, but there was a face and it was staring at me. It wasn't like mean or anything. It was just staring there. Scared the shit out of me though.
I'd imagine.
So I'm tweaking, whatever. I finally go back to bed. Like there was like noises and I was like kind of hearing things. I would hear like talking and stuff. It was weird, but I realized that if you don't have it on, which maybe I'm just paranoid again, but I think I saw a ghost, and my grandma thinks that it was maybe like him or something. She's like, "You don't have to worry about him because he's nice." I was like, "No fucking way."
Grandma Marla?
Still, but
I would always make sure that thing was off.
For sure.
I don't know why,
dude.
but I feel like that thing had some kind of like connection.
part of
to,
him was in it.
I don't know if it was in it or what,
Yeah.
but weird stuff would happen whenever that thing was running. Which also, it's like you get stuff in your head.
Right.
But
and you were looking for waiting for it.
Yeah. It scared the heck out of me though.
Oh my God,
that was like a ghost time. And then also when I was a little kid, kind of same thing happened. So our neighbor, one of our friends, they had his mom, and we were very close. She ended up passing away when they were like young. We were probably like 5, and I think it was this big deal. I can't remember if it was that night or if it was around that night or around that time, but I was sleeping in their room because I was scared or, whatever. It was like it was a very sad time. Everyone was crying and stuff. And I woke up in the middle of the night to a face, again, a white face staring at me. I still to this day, I think it might have been her. Maybe just like, I don't know. Because like we were kind of like friends and whatever. And
Wow.
But that was another time.
Man, that gives me the
It
chills.
scared the shit out of me.
That
I
gives
just
me the
remember I was like a
chills.
little kid and I was just like sitting there in my parents' bed and I was just like looking at it.
That's got to be.
But maybe I was dreaming. I don't know. I don't want to, but I do
I
believe
think the
in ghosts.
hardest part about that too is that like, I don't know. You're like, I don't know. Was I just seeing things or because
Right.
every person that's ever seen a ghost is like, I was sure I saw it, but also I don't know.
You can't prove it.
It's crazy to think that it's the most of the ghost stories. It's got to be like they lived in the house, they died in the house.
I would
there's a
never
ghost.
buy a house that had a death.
I
in it.
wouldn't either. Maybe is that being
Didn't-
superstitious? I wouldn't either.
You guys just
No, just some idiot was making that shit up.
Some idiot.
Yeah.
Telling
No.
the funny story.
Oh,
Man,
I
guys
thought
who do
You
that
guys
are
remember
idiots.
where they said that
he fell out.
That
was all a
some
joke.
dude
Go
went
ahead
and
tell
told
that,
Ken.
Tell that story.
So Ken was out eating, and it was last year after
Getting free food and
me,
drinks.
Mike, and Ken
Being super
went
nice
and got
to
our
Ken.
house together. Somebody came up to Ken and was like, "Oh yeah, I saw you bought the old whatever person's house," and then he goes, "You know how he died, right?" And Ken's like, "No," and he's like, "Well, he fell out the porch window because there's like this big screen and deck and died on the."
Because he was an alcoholic.
Yeah, but he got drunk and he fell through the screen and died. So I was like, "Are you kidding me?" When I heard that, I was like, "God dang it, we need to get rid of this place."
And I'm over here like, well, at least he didn't die in the house.
Still, he was around it.
just two different people.
He didn't die. In the
No,
house,
I
though.
was like, I agree. I wouldn't buy a house that's like, hey,
was
they
tripping.
lived in here, they died in here. It's kind of creepy. I just wouldn't. But
Yeah.
so that was all
But
fake.
if it was like your family, yeah, it was. If it was like a family, so like my cousins, so my uncle, he passed away from cancer, but he, passed away in the house because they like set him up on hospice in there. That's like
That's
different.
different,
That's
yeah.
way
Yeah.
different. But if it was like obviously a murder or something tragic happened like that, where maybe it wasn't family, I would not fuck with that. And a lot of places, if there's like a killing or something really bad happens there, oftentimes they level it. In Fargo, when there was this pregnant woman and they lived in like a duplex type of thing and the neighbors came over and killed her and cut her open and took the baby. I think is the baby still alive?
Yeah, the baby's alive.
That's so messed up.
So messed up.
Anyways, they caught the people that did it, and they're in jail, and then obviously the other person, and I'm sure they were renting it, but they leveled the whole, because no one would want to buy that. Yeah. No one was gonna want to buy that after that, which makes sense.
Makes sense. That's crazy.
My parents' old cabin, lake cabin, the lady, I think 2 owners before, died in the laundry room. When they came down to the lake one time, the microwave was running.
The microwave?
The microwave was just running.
How long?
Right? Right? The microwave was just on after being gone for a week. Yep. And then another time, yeah, you guys were sitting there, and then a painting that had been on the wall for years just randomly fell. Oh. What else? There was some other stuff, right?
We sold it after that.
Oh, you did? Was that?
It was the yellow one? The DL one?
Yeah. Did you feel like could you feel like a presence of someone? Really?
But you just didn't like it. You're like, I don't know.
Yeah, you guys ever feel like somebody's just like in your presence?
Okay, so I have a story about this. So my dad, when he was young, like 10 or 11, his dad died. And he owned a gas station and also a towing company business. So he would have to go out in snowstorms. He went out in a snowstorm one day, and he did his routine of giving all the kids like a goodnight kiss, checking on them, tucking them in, make sure they're good. And he would go out in the snowstorm. And one night when he was out, he had a heart attack and died young. He was like 40. So one day I'm staying at my grandparents while my parents are on vacation when I was a little kid. And I'm sleeping in my dad's old room in the basement. And there's a snowstorm, middle of the winter. And I'm laying there, and I woke up, and you could just feel like it was just like someone right behind you, right? And I was so scared. I couldn't even bear myself to look. I just
you're not making that up.
And it came right there, and then it was just gone. And I was like, wow, everything stands up. And so I told my my aunt, and I was like, I had this happen. I'm like scared to sleep in the basement. I've been sleeping up on the couch because I'm scared to be down there. And she goes, well, Grandpa Roger used to come around every night before he would leave in a snowstorm and kiss all the kids goodnight. He was like, he was just checking on you before he left for the night.
That's kind of how like my grandma said it.
I mean, it's just no, it's good. He was just making sure you were safe. And I was like,
and I like that they explain it like that. It makes you feel better.
Like they don't have bad intentions. Oh no, they're not like
he did it to you.
You gotta wonder though. Think about that. If you do believe in it, how often they are in the presence and you don't know, and they deliberately try to not, make it noticeable because it obviously scares you. Even if they have good intentions. Yep. Think about that. True.
Or if they come in and you're doing something dirty.
Jesus. Think about that.
Ryan.
All right, maybe I won't give him a kiss tonight.
They're like, oh.
Haunted house.
What'd you say?
Like Ryan said, it was an encounter and most likely a good ghost. Would you guys go to like a haunted house?
No.
Because I know we got those.
Oh,
I do not.
We would do that.
I would
Why
not
did
go
I
to
do
anywhere
that?
I don't
near a
fuck with
haunted house.
fuck with haunted houses.
Yeah.
Actually, I take that back. I didn't go to haunted houses, but we used to go to abandoned houses. The creepier, the better.
You were just
hated
tweaked
that.
out.
Yep.
I mean, it was fun. It was an adrenaline rush, but it was scary the entire time.
It was one of my first experiences as a YouTuber. Most of my stuff was just edits, stupid, dumb stuff. But this one, we took a camcorder and a light, and we went and found this abandoned house and, vlogged it. Sick. But it was so weird. We went upstairs, and there was a whole pile of shoes. It kind of reminded me of the Holocaust, because they would just take everyone's stuff and pile it. I'm not joking, like a pile of shoes, old leather shoes.
Was that the place that had like the dentist chair in it?
Yeah. And then we had to go into the basement, and the foundation was all made out of literal like rocks and like whatever. And it was super creepy, but it wasn't haunted.
If I ever own land with an old scary house on it, I'm gonna set it up to like Like, I'm just going to go I'm going to go to the thrift store, buy a pile of shoes, put it in there. I'm going to, like, hang suits in the closet, you know? Like, just do weird shit so that if someone ever goes in there, they're like, this place is fucking creepy.
You kind of have that over there. Well, we knocked the chimney down, but I guess some of those other little
Yeah, I mean, if
shacks
there was
out
stuff left.
that shit's creepy too.
That
So
is creepy now that you say that.
there's this movie. I had to look up the name so I wouldn't blue ball everyone, but it's called Within. I basically found out about it because I have some friends in Nashville and they got a song in the movie, and it's like cool because I knew the song. And it's perfect for the time when they play it. But anyway, it's about someone living in their walls, their attic, their walls, and which is the creepiest thing about it is that happens. Not a lot.
Yeah,
But
squatters.
squatters, and I don't know how wide their walls were and stuff, but he was like very. This part was probably exaggerated, but he was really like zombie looking because he never left. He didn't go outside.
yeah.
He lived in the walls.
Why?
And he'd eat
And
their
it's
food.
based on a true story.
Was
Yeah.
this the one
Yeah.
where the kid was kind of like the kid was born messed up and the family was super rich and they didn't want the kid to be seen, but they had like
No.
okay, never
But-
mind. There's a
but
whole movie.
I have heard
This is
that.
about a
Wait,
squatter that was
wait.
living in the walls in between their house.
And he looked so creepy because he never saw the light of day.
And then when they
basically.
would leave, he would eat their food.
Yep, or at night he would, and it's so creepy because
happened-
it's real. You know,
Yeah,
it's
that
not
happens
like
a lot.
The movie's not real, but like it's so creepy because like
squatter.
someone could actually live in your attic
Yep.
and you not know.
And you don't know.
Oh
That
my
happened
gosh.
in DL. That happened in DL.
What?
Really?
One of Alex's classmates. Apparently, this guy had been living in their house, in their attic,
Creepy,
and
dude.
when they would leave, he would go down and eat. So this kid, I guess, went home during lunch break to go grab something, or I don't know, and he opened up the door, and the guy was sitting there eating a sandwich or something at the table, and the guy just stood up and sprinted out. And he was like rattled, whatever. So they called the cops. They called the cops. The cops came, and they scout out the whole house, and they end up going upstairs, and they found like where he was sleeping, and he had like a little bit of stuff there, and like a little spot. I think it was in the attic. I'd have to ask Alex, but
Talk about heebie-jeebies, dude.
What?
Like, seeing
that's
that and
why
going,
I always freaking lock my door when I leave now, because I'm worried like someone just sneak in.
just walk in and then they're up there and you never know.
Yeah, it's not trying to steal anything. It's trying to live
Yeah,
there.
dude, I don't got really anything at home for you to steal, but you live there. Imagine, especially if you're by yourself. I don't really worry about it because I have Big Ken.
People
He'd probably
coming in
fight
and
the guy. But back when I was living at alone, it was scary.
Yeah.
I always thought about that.
that'd
Just
be-
think all the people in
Also-
Slab City, they're squatters.
And also like,
Yeah.
but for the people who are able to do that, talk about impressive.
Think about how quiet you have to be.
I don't think I
How
could rob
careful.
a place without getting caught, let alone live there.
Bro, that's so
You know?
messed up. They just like get
That's
used to it, and they like
crazy,
sneak around.
bro.
You got to have something wrong with
Where
you. though,
was
if
he
you're
going to
doing
the
that.
bathroom?
I don't know.
That's a great
I'd have to ask
question.
Alex. I just remember her telling me that story, and I was like, that is so crazy. And that's how I learned of the term squatter.
Dude, I don't watch scary movies because I don't
Because
get
you're scared.
I don't
watch-
get anything out of it. It does not give me any sort of adrenaline that I desire.
It almost
It
like
freaks me out, and then I go home, and I'm like, I'm tweaking right now. Like,
No,
I'm
like-
not a paranoid person like CJ, but like after that, I'm like, somebody's watching me. There's somebody here. There's a ghost.
yeah.
And I don't really even believe in that. Like that there's like bad ghosts, but I'm like convinced myself of it after a scary movie, so I don't watch scary movies.
It literally
I have legit maybe watched one full scary movie in my entire life.
and it's only when we make it.
It is funny, yeah. 'cause
I don't
whenever
watch it though. I
we
literally
sometimes will do
if you
that.
guys watch
true,
the scary
yeah,
movie, I
you're-
just sit on my phone. And
Yeah, I always
won't
look over
watch
and
any
Ben's
of
just
it.
on his phone, or he's like looking
Leaving
the other
to
way,
it.
sleeping, trying to just.
That's funny.
I don't watch it. I
Yeah.
still don't understand. Why do you watch scary movies? What do you get out
No,
of
it's true. It literally like hinders your life.
it?
Like
It does.
like you personally, it really does. Like I'd say it's for the adrenaline. And if you're not getting that out
exciting.
of it,
It's
then,
exciting.
yeah, then I totally understand why you don't.
We got to ease you in
Mess
with
with it.
like
No,
a good,
dude. No,
no,
I will never be a scary movie guy.
No, we got to.
I will
ease you
legit
in
never be a
with
scary movie guy.
Not like Saw or like some paranormal
thriller.
like a. I think the term is psychological thriller when you're trying to figure out what's happening and it's not scary.
scary.
The guy isn't in the house trying to kill you. It's like some weird thing that's happening and you're trying to figure out why it's happening and it's more of like a brain game. Those are the ones that I really like, and I think you would like those too.
I'm more into thrillers for sure. This is the worst part too. It's really hard to make a good scary movie. It's really hard to make a good psychological thriller scary movie. It's really easy to make a shitty scary movie. And that's why
Especially
there's a
if
million of them.
If it's true, if it's based on a true story, like if it says that at the beginning, nope, you're out. Nope.
Because then you can go,
Because
this could actually happen to me.
This actually happened.
Yeah.
So this was real. Obviously, it's probably exaggerated, but nope. Nope.
Count Ben out. But if you're listening to this and you have actual scary movies, drop them in the comments.
Yeah.
So
I feel like comments on this podcast are going to be like, oh, I have this ghost story. Like, I'm not even going to be able to read the comments.
probably not. I was like, Ben, you shouldn't.